beautiful audience. You guys keep it going.
Please welcome our last speaker of the day, the great, the stunning, Leticia the Kid.
How's everybody doing?
Good.
I'm nervous. Give me a break. Alright. It's for the older people in here. Think back to when you were in high school. Did you ever think about why you wanted to graduate? Yeah? Just one of these?
Yeah.
Alright, I always thought school was boring, and then I grew up. School is great, but I'm happy to leave and move on in my life. My life has been filled with ups and downs, but now I am ready to graduate. I never thought about why I should graduate. Then I started thinking about my low points in life and my high points in life. It all started 18 years ago. I've been through hell and back. I grew up with just my mom and 3 younger siblings for a while. And she decided she's going to do her own thing. Things got really bad with her. When I was 5, they took custody away from my mom and put us in the care of my aunt and uncle. Things were good for a while. My dad came back into our life. We got to spend the weekends with him. When I was 12, my aunt and uncle kicked me out, and I went to live with my grandparents. I loved it over there. I was the only child. I was my grandpa's keeper. I did everything for him. I was doing well, then I started high school, and it all went downhill from there. I got into drugs and alcohol my freshman year, but I was still passing all my classes. I then changed schools, and that's when everything went from bad to even worse. I was missing school all the time, failing all my classes except for math and science. I was messing up all throughout my junior year. I was in the office all day. I was encouraging everybody else to ditch so I could have somebody to hang out with. I got 2 tickets at the end of my junior year, then a week apart. I was going nowhere really fast. I finally realized that I need to get my act together. I stopped doing drugs. My drinking slowed down a little. I looked into different schools because where I was going wasn't working for me. I looked all throughout the summer, and then I finally decided Hidden Lake was the one for me. School started. It was my senior year. I only had 11 credits. I knew that I'd be the only one to get me out of high school. At the end of the year, I had made up all my junior credits and almost all my senior credits. I ended with 18.5 credits. Anybody else would have given up by now. They would be upset because they came up a couple credits short and want to give up, but I didn't because I had a support system behind me. Finally had people who wanted me to do well and succeed. My girlfriend and her family took me in. They see potential in me. They were my missing piece. For that, I owe thanks to you guys. They've took me in as their own, gave me the family that I've been searching for. Most of all, they showed me love and cared for me like no one has ever. They gave me the encouragement and support to succeed that I was lacking. They told me it doesn't matter if you graduate a year late or whatever, but as long as you graduate. With the economy in the world now, you can't even get a job at Burger King without a high school diploma. Everybody thinks they go get their GED and it'd be equivalent to a high school diploma. It's false. Statistics show that students who drop out are a step below someone with their GED, and someone with their GED is a step below someone with their high school diploma. They say the GED and high school diploma are the same, but in reality, chasing after your GED is just setting you up for failure in your future. Also, statistics show that when you get your GED, you study for 32 hours, and someone with a high school diploma studies for 4,000 hours. I don't know about you, but I'd rather chase after a high school diploma than a GED. Not only is it higher than a GED, but you also learn a lot more. 32 hours of studying doesn't get you ready for reality. You're cheating yourself out of a free education. I've done one too many years of school. A typical person only does 12. I messed up and went to the doctor plan. Don't get me wrong, I learned a lot and I've accomplished a lot. But when you're a teenager, school's the last place you want to be. One of my biggest accomplishments in school would have to be literacy. Ever since I can remember, I didn't like reading or writing. I was the average teenager at the age of 8. I found it to be boring. I never understood why reading Captain Underpants was a must. I didn't see why reading about a kid in underwear and a cape investigating who took the last cookie would help us. It was only influencing us to run around in our underwear. Then as I got older and the reading and writing assignments got bigger and harder, I found it even more unnecessary and boring. They had us reading about vampires and wolves and comparing it to the real life. I never got the point of literacy, so I never passed. Eventually got tired of failing, so I decided to suck it up and take it seriously. I ended up with blocked hours of literacy for a whole year. Thought I was being punished. As the years went on, I started to open up to the subject and I started to pass. I didn't pass with C's or D's, but with A's and B's. My writing assignments got longer and more detailed. My reading got better. A piece I did was a free write called Mom. This piece, it's all about my mom, how I feel about everything she has put me through, and my view on the situation. Another piece I did is called My Grandpa. This piece is about the most important man in my life and how I was pushing myself through school to make him proud. The biggest piece I've done would have to be my college essay. The essay is about persuading a college that I'm ready to put in work and that I should get accepted to the institution. It is the biggest piece because it is designed to help me in the real world. I can actually take this essay and turn it into any college. It talks about a lot of personal responsibility because I took responsibility by pushing myself through school, doing what's right, and pushing to succeed in life. It talks about my strong work ethics and how I got 2 years worth of credits in one. Literacy has helped me master many characteristics in life, such as creativity and innovation and personal responsibility. When you write, you show creativity and innovative side. When you write papers that will benefit you in the future, such as college essays or resumes, you're showing personal responsibility because when you apply for a job, you need to know how to do a resume to show your previous work experience. When you apply at a college, you have to write a paper on why you should be accepted to that institution. Literacy has been my biggest struggle throughout school, but it's also been my biggest accomplishment. It's also just one of the many classes that should prove why I should graduate. The next class is social studies. It's one of those classes that depends on what the topic is, on whether or not you're engaged. I like learning about what the world used to be like, but at the same time, the president from over 100 years ago isn't going to help me with balancing my checkbook. In social studies, I learned a lot of things. The many things I learned were was that history repeats itself. With social studies, you get one of the following subjects: U.S. history, government and civics, world geography, or economics. With these subjects, you got a lot of history to follow behind. The class that really got my attention would be U.S. history. In this class, we watched a movie about the Vietnam War. The assignment was to be a news reporter and write a story about what it was like to be in a war. The piece showed creativity, and the details in the piece, such as the smell of blood lingered in the air, are so graphic, almost as if you were really there. I also learned about many presidents, such as Clinton, who was impeached because he was having an affair, or Roosevelt, who was elected president 4 times. I also got a piece of evidence from my online class. On one of the submissions I did, I got 96.67%. It shows that I don't need an adult standing over me in order to get my work done and get a good grade. I'm able to work independently and be responsible for my own success. Another class I want to talk about is science. I took chemistry most of my senior year. It was great. Everything was hands-on and engaging. I learned about different chemicals and chemical reactions when they interact with other substances. In this class, we got to blow up things, make things such as soap, perfume, rock candy, or aspirin. Chemistry had a lot of math involved in it. Math was needed to balance out the different chemicals being combined. In this class, I made my own aspirin. I had to be very careful when I was doing this. Working with acid made it even more critical that I was cautious. It was a long process. When I was finally done, I got to test my product with the actual aspirin made by the pharmaceutical company. My aspirin was pure, but not pure enough for human consumption. Project not only showed how personally responsible I am, but also a critical thinker. You have to be very responsible in handling acid. But you also have to be a critical thinker in order to get the formula correct so nothing goes wrong. Chemistry was a fun class. I enjoyed it. Everything was hands-on, but I also enjoyed all the math that came along with it. Art's a lot like chemistry. You have math, hands-on, and you also need to mix things to make your material for certain projects such as paper mache or sculpting. When you say art, you have to be more specific. There's all kinds of art. You have sculpting, painting, paper mache, drawing, 2D art, 3D art, and so on. Art's a great way to show emotion and your way of viewing things through your eyes. With art comes creativity and innovation, also responsibility and collaboration. A few pieces I did in art would be my rock. We had to research our culture and painted our rock based on our heritage. I'm Mexican, so I did yellow and red base. The little rock with the skull designed for Day of the Dead. Another project would be clay sculpting. Take a chunk of clay, flatten it, and you apply your design that resembles ancient Greece. This project showed self-control because we had to be patient and listen to directions clearly, or else your sculpture would be ruined. Art was very fun and allows you to be very creative, but at the same time, it was very stressful and nerve-wracking. You have one design in your head, and the actual project is looking like the complete opposite of what you pictured. Gym and health. With gym, not only do you work alone, but as a team. Sometimes it takes a lot of creativity and collaboration to get through certain tasks or games. You have to be an adept communicator. In gym, you have to do a lot of team activities, which means you have to be able to work with others in order to complete the task. One of the big team activities we did was a ropes course up in the mountains. It allowed us to see how much trust people have in you. It was based on your teamwork on how smoothly you got through it and if you got through safely. I mean, you're climbing 30 feet in the air with just a harness and 2 ropes to hold on. Sometimes you didn't even have a rope. You just had somebody else and you had to support each other. The other activity would be the research on STDs for the health part of class. That activity not only gave us valuable knowledge, but it also helped us get more personally responsible and globally and culturally aware. It also opened our eyes to what can happen if you have unprotected sex. Gym and health are very important, can be very valuable to young adults such as myself. Came from the ground up, taken away from my parents, kicked out at the age of 12, got into drugs and alcohol at a young age, messed up in school. I didn't graduate on time because I had the I don't care mentality. It took me my high school career to figure it out. Figured out that I was going to be the only one I finally figured out that nothing was going to be handed to me without hard work and determination. I finally grew up. I busted my ass to get where I am today. I pushed myself to finish school, not only for myself, but for the bragging rights, so I can say I will be successful in life. I never had the support I needed until I met my girlfriend and her family. Without them, I wouldn't be standing here today. They helped me pick up the missing pieces of my life and put it back together. I'm going to follow my dreams and be successful. I'm going to make the world a better place. I'm going to be a positive influence for all the younger kids to do right so that our world is the way it's supposed to be. I'm going to instill in them that it's not where you came from, but where you're going. I'm going to influence them not to fight or steal or get involved in drugs and alcohol. I'm going to show them that we can leave our doors unlocked and not have to worry about being robbed. That all our problems don't need to be handled with violence. Drugs and alcohol isn't the path to go down. I'm going to show them that you don't have to be drunk or high to have a good time. That going to a party and getting wasted isn't cool. You don't need a party with alcohol and drugs to enjoy yourself. Addiction will take over your life and leave you with nothing in the end. I lived that life, and it's not the way the world should be. I've come a long ways. I've jumped and leaped in and out of obstacles. If I deserve anything in life, it would be my diploma. I deserve to graduate. I will graduate.